the market is starting to slow down as reality is sinking in on GameStop and AMC. Hopefully, if you were one of those who rode these stocks on the way up, you sold most or all of them. But there's always an opportunity in the market, so there's no need for us to get FOMO. And let's start talking about stocks. What's happening, traders? I post weekly trading videos, so if you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Okay, so we have quite a lot of stocks to discuss about today, but I'll just run through them, and if you still have questions, you can post them down in the comment section so I can answer them. First is AMC. I tried my luck on this as I saw that this was trending up after that big sell-off day, and I thought this was gonna have a second wave of short squeeze. So I entered here, and just quickly I was proven that my trade thesis was wrong, so I immediately cut it. These are my fills. Entered 16.5, 16.5 pre-market again, and at the open, but noticed that the selling was still there, so I immediately took the position and I lost for about 1 hour risk. So if you're thinking what R means, on my next video I discussed it thoroughly, so you can watch it, study it. Next we have GRTS. Suddenly it went up with a catalyst, news catalyst. Unfortunately I wasn't in here when it ran up, and I thought to myself that it can still go, and it was kind of making a base, so I entered there full size directly. So that was one of my mistakes, and I was proven wrong when it broke this pre-market low. So my feels on GRTS, as you can see, I thought that it had reclaimed. As soon as it broke that pre-market dip, I bailed out and lost for 1 hour. So next up, RVP. I thought this was gonna move more. As you can see, it just tested that recent pivot high, making it as a support, previous resistance making it a support. I entered here partially thinking that it can go higher and add when it consolidates above 19.65, but I got stopped out on this day. So as you can see, RVP entered here looking for the move higher and possibly add when it confirms. Then after this candle, I exited for about 1/3 of my full risk position. APDN, it actually moved according to what I expected. It was gonna consolidate around this area, so I thought this was gonna go higher the next few days, but as you can see here, the relative weakness is very apparent. So I lost on this 1 hour. As you can see, I immediately went full size. I think this can be actually improved. As you know, I don't normally enter full size right away on my first entry. Then I got stopped out. I had a support around here. So at the break of that, it confirmed to me that it was not going higher. So SPCE, as you know, I've traded this before and saw that it was trending higher. As you can see here, having a base around this area, 40. So a very good psychological level. So I saw this price action, and then I entered this partially and added on the way up. So I've marked out the previous trades. So these were my previous trades. So the trades I currently did this week, as you can see here, I entered partially upon the confirmation of the higher lows, and then add as it goes my way, and then sold some here. I added again as this was a very unusual move, and most of the time when this happens without any news, this will just be reclaimed right away. I was actually thinking of selling this position if it broke this level right here after hours level, but then right at the open it went up, so I sold some at 58.454, and then I trailed the remaining size, so it stopped me out on that. I got here 3 times than my risk. SDC, I was already having doubts on this when I can't see any volume. So what I like to see if I enter a trade is I see price action, natural price action moving in my direction, or at least consolidating for a bit, and with volume. Without any volume, you can automatically tell that this stock doesn't have any demand or doesn't have any eyes to it. So without any demand, there's really no point in entering a stock. Pre-market the next day, there was an offering news, so that changed my trade thesis. So instead of having my stop around 12.5, I believe. I moved it around 14, but my main mistake here, a very avoidable mistake, I had set my stop at 14, but I forgot that I added more to full position. So the stop that I did was just for the initial position that I had. So here are my fills on SDC. This was supposed to be just 1/2 hour or 0.5 hour, but because of that mistake, it costed me some unnecessary loss. So METX, by the way, I've called all my fills, my entries and exits in my Twitter feed, so you can follow me there to see what trades I'm taking and what trades I'm exiting. And METX, I called this after hours, entering at 2.6. As the pre-market opened, it then went up, so I was in the money right away. So I sold some as planned, 3.4, and then sold again 3.85. At this point, I have just 1/3 of my position that I had the following day with AACG the previous day and the market that we're in. I felt like this had some room to go parabolic this day. So I entered again 3.85 for a move higher for a possible squeeze, then trailing it all at 3.4 in case I was wrong. Nevertheless, I was still green on this trade. So these are my fills on METX. Entered here 1/2 size, sold some at 3.4. No, I had this 3.4 and 3.85, so think or swim, just average them out since it was on the same candle. Added again, and I got stopped out 3.4, as you can see here. I still got 1 hour, so it was a very good trade. If I didn't added here, most likely this was a 3 hour or 4 hour on 1/2 size, so that's very big. So it could have been 8 hour for a full position, but at this point I was just risking the profits that I made, so it still was a good trade. I took the risk, and unfortunately it didn't pay this time. So lastly, BNGO, partially entering and then full size when I thought this was already the confirmation of the move and possible move above all-time high. But as you can see, after that move, it came right back down and it was now under this line. So I already had my doubts, but I still stick to my stop and I got stopped out. So these were my fills on BNGO, so you can disregard this part. This was the previous trade. Entered here, entered again 11.89, and actually didn't even made it to full position because of that wick. After proving that it wants to go higher, it then came back down. So that's a very good sign for the trade direction that I'm looking for. I got stopped out here, lost here about 0.5 hour. Now we go to the positions that I currently have. So first is OEG. I traded this before. At this point, anything can happen. It can go up or it can go down. So I'm sticking to my stop around 7.75. So disregard this part. This was the previous trade. I entered this after seeing that it had a higher low. It's respecting this moving average. Then adding again here. I think I'm full size on this trade already. Setting my stop at 7.75, looking for this above the all-time highs of 11.2. Next, we have AFA. So AFA, ECB, and HEXO. I have the same trade thesis for this. These are cannabis stocks, and as you know, the Democrats right now are moving to pass a bill to decriminalize or deregulate or remove restrictions on cannabis. So that's a very good sign for the cannabis sector. So these three, APHA, ECB, and HEXO, these are all related to the cannabis sector. So my fills on APHA, I have, as you can see here, 15.5 and adding at 16.2 for full size. My ACB, you can see 13.14 and adding full size at 13.3. HEXO, this was kind of a chase. I still have a very strong bias on this on the long side, so I entered 7.73, added for full size at 7.8, or the other way around. AMRS, I have this as 1/2 or 3/4 if it reaches 14 and then sell all at 16.51. So this is not a trade that I have confidence on, but I still take it as long as I see the setup, and it has to prove to me that it wants to go higher for me to add to full size. and my risk reward on this is not very good, so I'm not really very excited on this trade, but if it goes my way, then I'll take the win. So HOL, this is a SPAC. This is related to space. So in 17.6 average, stop at 16. I'm already full size in this trade. Here are my fills for HOL. Entered partial 7.1. Upon confirmation, entered again. Didn't chase. Waited for that pullback. Most of the time, they do pull back. And as you can see, it's the pivot high, recent pivot high. So entered there, full size, and right now it's grinding into my direction. Lastly, I have here SKLZ skills, I think. This had news related to NFL. If you have those kinds of news, it's a very bullish sign. So I entered this on this day. So I'm already full size on SKLZ. And I believe the market was selling off on this candle, so I saw the relative strength. I added there, and right now it's going my direction. So the watch list for Monday, AMRS. As you know, I still have partial position on this, so this is still in my watch for Monday for a possible move and possible add. GSM, I saw this on this day when it ran up and still in my watch, and as you can see here, it's being supported by these lines, and it's right now curling up, so it is a very good price action for the bullish side. So I'm still waiting. Possibly if it teases around 3.6 more, I might take partial and then add above. Right, but right now this is looking like it's gonna go, and we have a very big volume on this day, so if it gets above 3.6, then this can definitely go higher. THCB, the same thesis. Right now 22.66 is the level, and as you can see, it's either consolidating or having a higher low. So this is a very good sign of the bullish move. I might take partial above this level 22.66 if it confirms, and then add as it goes along my direction. As you can see, all-time highs on the daily is just 25.23, so we have room to move. And lastly, CPSH, and it's holding its run actually, and right now it looks like it wants to break 23. This is kind of a parabolic move for my style, but I might take a stab at it Monday if price action confirms, and all-time highs for this is just 30, so we don't have any resistance above, so this is a very good trade possibly. And if you want to see my trades during Tuesday to Friday, you can always follow me on Twitter, as I post there daily my entries and my exits, so you can study them, learn from them, or you can just interact. If you find value in this video, please help me grow this channel by hitting the like button, subscribing if you haven't done so, and sharing this to your family and friends. Also, just commenting down anything in the comment section will help me grow this channel. And before we go, you will get 4 free stocks if you use the link down in the description below, sign up to Webull, and deposit $100. With that being said, respect risk and continue to hustle, trade, and invest.